Hello, I'm Christian Lowe, developer of the Christian Lowe line of leather care. Just want to take time to make a short little video and take the worst saddle I've seen in a long time. This is abandoned in an attack room from a riding school, and I grabbed it just to use to prove a point. I wanted to put the leather care to the ultimate test. This saddle hasn't seen use in years, and I thought it would be kind of fun to clean it up and show off the product just a little bit. So you can see it's covered in quite a lot of dust and mold. So this should be fun since I'm allergic to mold. First thing I want to do, we take off stirrup leathers. I'm not going to bother doing anything with those. They're dangerous and just heading for the garbage anyway. First step in cleaning any saddle, take a dry cloth, towel, anything like that, and wipe off anything on the surface, loose dirt, things like that, arena dust. Especially if you're horse showing, there's a ton of sand that gets in saddles, and if you don't wipe that off first, you're just going to be grinding that into the leather when you get started cleaning it. This should be really cool. You can see, don't know if the video shows it very well, but this is super dry. This is where they call it a sweat flap, and it is always getting the most abuse. There's a ton of sweat and things like that. This probably hasn't been cleaned very well when it was in use. So it'll be interesting to see how far we can get this brought back. Little while I'd put on Facebook to clean but never condition your billet straps. Can't say that often enough, actually. It's something that people do without thinking. You think, oh, leather has to be conditioned or it'll crack. But the billets are tanned a different way. They react poorly to conditioning. If you just keep them clean, give them a quick wipe, it's fine. And the one thing you want to do while you're in there is check the stitching. If you have any questions about stitching, how that is attached to the saddle, it can let go and it won't give you any warning. So the best thing to do is either get your saddle inspected annually by someone who's qualified to do so. That's ultimately the best solution. But when you're cleaning it, it's, kind of Pony Club 101. You check all your stitching. Older saddles, the thread tends to get dry and dry rot on cotton thread. That hasn't been used in the industry in a long time, so you probably aren't experiencing that, but it's something to watch for. Okay, next step, we've wiped off all the loose dust and dirt, and we're going to take a tack sponge, and we're going to wet it. When you're cleaning tack, water is like the smallest ingredient. You are not using a lot of water. It's not the main component here. So the trick is wring it out so that there's nothing left dripping out of it. Now we just have a damp sponge. And take the leather cleaner, and it is a glycerin-based soap with the tea tree as an additive. Big believer in tea tree. It smells incredible, obviously, but it's also a natural fungicide, and it really does. It has hundreds of uses in cleaning, and you can use it as a natural additive to cleaners in your home as well. Damp sponge, get a little on the sponge, and we're just working it in. Because I haven't used much water, it's drying right in front of my eyes. It's going quite quickly. Your general care, you don't need to clean your tack more than once a week if it's in a really harsh environment, showing and things like that. Fine, but use less leather care if you're going to clean your saddle more often. It doesn't always mean that your saddle is going to last longer if you keep hitting it with leather care constantly, but that's dry now. and already looking pretty cool. So I do have a liquid saddle soap as well. This is no tea tree added to it, but I like the product just the way it is, and I wanted to give people an option to have their choice. Tea tree, you can add your own. You can buy whatever essential oil you want. Add this to it, shake it up, and you've got custom blended scented saddle soap all to yourself. There's a safety or a seal on there to make sure nothing leaks out during transit. This you need even less water with, because it does have some water in it itself. I put a very small amount on. This soap works beautifully. It actually almost feels like it's conditioning the leather at the same time. It has more in it than just glycerin soap. It's got some essential ingredients in there to help soften and condition leather as well. So, you don't always have to condition your saddle every single time you clean it. Always like to give a little buff with my cloth after I've cleaned. So not bad for a saddle that's been ignored for quite some time. Now, conditioning a saddle, I get asked all the time, like, what do you prefer, the balm or the saddle oil? Saddle oil, I really like, probably in this case where the saddle has been left in an environment that's drying out and it's been abused. The saddle oil will penetrate nice and deep, and that's something that on any saddle I probably want to see you use the saddle oil a couple of times a year. And then follow up with the balm on a regular basis. That's your once a week or every 10-day type of cleaning, where you're making sure the leather stays soft and supple and protected from sweat and moisture and things like that. But we're going to use both products, just kind of make sure it's got give the some exposure. So the saddle oil, again, we'll remove that seal and put the cap back on. It's got a convenient dispensing cap, so you can control how much is coming out of there, so you're not wasting any. This, again, you can use, I typically use a smaller sponge for that. I sell these multi-pack sponges on the website, christianlowe.ca, and you can pick them up at any tack store, and also the product's available in tack stores across Canada. So the oil, we put a little bit on. There's nobody that can tell you how much to put on. I always tell clients, the approach is you put a little bit on more often. It's going to do more good than trying to drench the saddle all at once. You're not going to make up for not conditioning your saddle in one cleaning session. It's also on the instructions in the back, give the saddle oil a shake. It does blend this myself right here in the shop. You want to make sure that all those essential oils are mixed beautifully and stay in suspension when you're using it. You're not going to get a high gloss finish with the oil. It just doesn't work that way. That's more of the balm's job. And to be honest, the balm has a higher beeswax content in it. And it's the beeswax that will kind of give it the final finish and polish. Like if you really like a high gloss finish on your tack, then I do suggest the balm. The saddle oil is perfect for French calf skin covered saddles. The oil just works better, and again, calf skin is tanned a little bit differently than your traditional saddles where it's one thick single piece of leather. So that's that oiled. Not super glossy, but you can feel the difference. It's already starting to become more supple. The one thing that's important is the underside of a traditional saddle flap is going to absorb oil better than the top side. Again, this is the side that is a little more porous and will absorb things quickly. And also, it's necessary to condition your saddle from both sides. And I'm not touching the billets, as we already spoke about. It's hanging around parts that I've already conditioned anyway. It's going to get enough just by being in close proximity to that. The sweat flap, you need to actually pay quite a bit of attention to. It does a lot of work for you, and next to that horse, it's against all the sweat. And it's probably going to take more abuse. So it actually should be getting a little more attention. What I see when I'm out at barns and farms and things like that is people spend a lot of attention to detail on the top side of the saddle, and it's really not even that dirty. You've been covering it. Most of the dirt ends up on your breeches anyway. So you're polishing it that way. The underside of it is the part that's being smushed up against a sweaty horse, so it really needs a lot of care. And the panels of any saddle, traditional saddle, whether it's foam or wool, the panel leather is much thinner. You can oversaturate it, so you only want to put a light coat in the panel area, and you can go a little bit heavier on the solid saddle leather. And when I'm done conditioning a saddle, again, let it sit. It's anything that's hasn't absorbed after, say, 10 minutes or something like that. Just buff off the excess. So a nice soft towel is the way to go. And that's the way of putting a little bit of a gloss onto it. And you can see, you know, we've done this side just with the oil, and this side we haven't touched it all yet, so there's obviously a difference. On this side, we're gonna give it a little clean, and then I'll show you the balm and the best way that I've ever found to apply any kind of leather conditioner. That's a cream, a balm, or a balsam. It gets called a couple of different things. Is the sheepskin mitt. So I'm excited to show you that. So we'll just give this a little quick clean. I think we already did that actually, but I'll go at it one more time just to be thorough. Again, cleaning underside, top side of your flap, billets. Literally, that is all you need to do. And if your billets look like that, where you start to see the holes, obviously there's a tear. This hole is no longer round, but it's become elongated and started to tear. That, especially if you're operating a riding school, I know it's expensive, but that saddle cannot be put back into service. That is a big no-no, and it's one of those things that it doesn't give you any warning when it's going to break. It happens like that, and it's a student or you know, a rider on the ground, and after that it's traumatic for the rider, it's traumatic for the horse, and it's just a senseless oversight. You just don't use those saddles with billets like that. Get them replaced. Part of cleaning tack for me, it is the smell is just wonderful. I think it's a great way to end a week of riding. You know, a Friday night. I know some farms it's quite a fun time. You know, everyone's relaxing with maybe one of their favorite beverages, a little bit of wine and cheese, and clean some tack, have a good gossip, catch up with what's been going on around the farm for the week. I think that's awesome. I love to see that. And it's one of those things, the tack cleaning, I see some people, you know, it's an afterthought, or they do it, you know, 10 minutes before the saddle fitter arrives, and the saddle fitter has to deal with a messy, goopy saddle. But you know, it should be just something you do a little bit once a week, and you should be in good shape. So this is the mitt. It's just a sheepskin mitt. I have only started doing this in the last 3 months, and I cannot believe that I haven't been doing this just from the very start, or why you haven't been shown this is the only way to clean tack. It gets a result that I haven't seen with any other applicator, but it makes your leather balm go further, and it's going to save you money. So, you know, I sell these on the website. You can buy them anywhere though. That's the balm. A couple of essential oils, some beeswax, but again, the tea tree's in here, again, for the same reason, not just the smell, but its properties of keeping mold at bay is what I'm trying to do. So, get some on your mitt. It just puts a finish. It looks fantastic, but a little bit is going a long way. I used to just use it, and it's no big deal. I used to use you know, a nice quality sponge to apply it, but for some reason it just doesn't go as far. So you're going for more and more balm all the time, and it's if you could buy something that gets a better result and saves you money, it's the way to go. If you're watching this on YouTube, please give me a like and share it if you can, and subscribe to my channel. That'd be awesome. You know, really trying to build up content on that channel that's relevant and that people are interested in hearing. You know, so if there's something you want to hear about, learn about as far as the leather care, please just drop me a message and I'll see if I can't come up with something. Okay. That is pretty nice, considering the saddle was really, it's heading for the garbage. It's not safe to use anymore. It's just old, the tree's compromised, and if we try to repair it, it's just not worth it. And you have a tear in the seat, things like that, which the saddle has delivered years and years and years of good use. Probably gotten more use you know, in a busy riding school than any one single person saddle would ever get. So it doesn't owe anybody anything. I just thought I would have fun, clean it up, and let people see the leather care in action. And the balm, also, you know, saddle oil versus balm. The balm is my weekly, you know, kind of touch up, give it a quick once over with the mitt. And the saddle oil is you know, a couple of times a year, treat the saddle. It just penetrates deeper, and like you're moisturizing your skin, you don't always use the exact same moisturizer every single time all year round. It's different times a year you need a heavier duty moisturizing or something like that, and leather's no different. It is skin after all at the end of the day. And what you're trying to do, the whole purpose of conditioning a saddle, not only are you inspecting the saddle safety-wise, but at the same time, but you're replenishing the fats that the tannery put in the leather to begin with. So it's the whole purpose of it, is that you're just maintaining the leather the way the tannery felt they wanted it. So if the saddle was super soft and supple when you bought it new, and you want to maintain that, then use the balm and the oil in combination, and it should maintain that saddle for years and years to come. Okay, thanks for watching. Appreciate everything, and see you soon. Bye.